I'm Izzy,
I'm Roman.
And I'm Marcus.
and welcome to the Breaking Wave.
We have another fantastic episode planned for us today. It's going to be great, trust me. But Izzy, today is our last day of our first semester of high school.
Wow,
I
that
know.
is crazy.
It is crazy. Things are just moving along like speedy.
Yeah, it's so wild. And good luck to all of you as you finish up your 5 through 8 classes with some finals happening today. And just remember that we do get Tuesday off from school, and then we start second semester on Wednesday, asynchronous day. So make sure to check in with your 1 through 4 classes on Teams so that you get marked present for attendance.
Speaking of second semester classes, the main office staff and our incredible library / media specialist have been working hard to put together supplies for these students, the drop off and pickup for supplies for second semester 1 through 4 classes. All you need to do is drive through the bus loop on Monday from 2 to 5 p.m. and Wednesday from 12 to 5 and review emails from your second semester 1 through 4 teachers on what supplies you'll need. It's entirely possible that you don't have to worry about any supplies being picked up.
All right, and senior class of 2021. This is for you guys. So the PTSA has decided to host an amazing senior class teacher design competition. And it's going to be starting from today through February 12th. All right, so basically, to submit a design, it has to have a couple of parameters. Basically, it has to have the class of 2021 on it, either SHS or CHOM, and then something that is unique about the school year, because this is a crazy school year, so you got to highlight that. And then when designing, remember that we can only do a 1 or 2 color design for the idea, so you can't be like rainbow, can't be too complicated. And then to enter into the design competition, make sure to just talk to either Megan Lever or drop it off at CHOM Ms. Kirk. Remember, it's by February 12th, and it is at 4 p.m. is the deadline. So, and then starting on February 19th, seniors, you will need to vote on your designs. We will send out information as to where you can see the designs, as well as vote on how to order your t-shirts in the coming weeks. So check your emails and just be ready for it. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. Make sure to participate.
Man, I am so pumped to see some of these designs, see what you guys come up with, because I know we've got some really creative people in our class, so can't wait.
Yeah, I got a few people in mind that'll probably be sending designs. To be sweet.
Oh, yeah. Now, if any of you are interested in a great leadership training opportunity, our community partner, Jostens, is having a virtual leadership summit this Thursday from 10 to 11:30. So there's a Microsoft Forms link that each anchor teacher has that you will need to connect with to be a part of this opportunity. Ask your anchor teacher or email Mr. Cushman for more information. And after you registered with the link, the deadline is today at 3 p.m. You will get the notification and the webinar link.
The Environmental Club is busy planning a variety of different activities. They're hosting 2 different group beach pickups and are also encouraging each of us to do our part with our own individual cleanups. At the end of our Breaking Wave video, they have a video that can be clicked on to explain their projects. Also, there is a link that anchor teachers can share with students that provides more information. It is awesome that we have some selfless students who are taking time to organize these events. It would be great if we all joined in and shared in the workload.
All right, that sounds awesome. And just as last week, as you all know, we had a little teaser about our school sports. We had our guest Maggie Height come in. She did awesome. And then now to continue that conversation, we have our amazing athletic and activities director, Mr. Cushman. How about you turn your camera on and get in here?
All right, I'm here. It's behind the scenes, but out in front today.
Yes, finally, the day has come.
That's right. Don't get scared away, please.
So it's good to see you. I guess, what can you tell us about our athletics that are coming up?
Yeah, I can't tell you how excited I am that we are starting. We're finally starting. We've been talking about this since, the beginning of the school year, and we are finally moving in the right direction. We got some bad news last week on the governor's phase, moving into phases. We're not quite ready to go into phase 2 with our region. And they decided to do this every 2 weeks instead of every week. So that means that our next opportunity to get to phase 2 is not going to be until Friday the 12th, but that doesn't mean that we can't move forward. So what we're going to do is we're starting our practices. These are our actual required practices for our sports, our fall sports. We're starting some of them this Monday, and then we'll start some of the other ones the following Monday. But if you did not do the optional workouts, you can still participate. In fact, I know all of our coaches are recruiting really heavily. Jeff Wood's been on me about pushing football, and he's really excited to get this going, and that football staff is amazing, and the other coaches have been on me too, and so I know they want more people to get involved, and our goal is to get as many people as we can involved. We're not doing any cuts in any sports, so please, if you need to get registered or you don't know what you're doing with registration, email me on that.
Awesome. All right. Now, I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of our athletes are too, why volleyball, softball, and soccer are starting a week after the other sports, and what's happening with boys tennis.
Right. So there's two different things. The first is we're looking at the level of risk with each sport, and they've been labeled like low risk, medium risk, or high risk. And then the other is a requirement with football to have more practices than the other sports. So football is considered a high risk sport, and they won't be able to get to their normal routine of practicing until we get to phase 2. But they need to get 10 practices in, and all the other sports only need to get 5 in to compete this year. So that's why football started early. Now, swimming and cross country were able to start early because they're considered low risk sports. So we just thought, let's just get them going. They're low risk. Let's get them started. They might have more practices, but that's an advantage of being a low risk sport. Then our softball and our soccer and our volleyball are all labeled medium risk sports, and they only need 5 turnouts. So that's why we were starting them on the 8th, and we're really hoping that we get to phase 2 by the 12th, and then we can start competitions right away. So that was that plan. Then as far as boys tennis, and I've heard from some people, I'm really bummed that it may conflict with if they do a winter sport and they do boys tennis, the winter sports and boys tennis are going to happen in May and June. And we get it that you might be a wrestler and a tennis player, basketball, tennis player, whatever. But we just didn't feel like it was realistic for boys tennis to be happening in this weather. And so we thought, let's just move it. Most of the kids will be pumped that they're playing in sunny weather in May and June, and which is unusual to the rains of October. So that was the reason behind that.
Makes sense.
Can anyone participate, or do you need to did you need to be a part of the fall optional workouts?
So yeah, I kind of touched on that, but anyone can participate, and we just want you to get cleared. And the majority of our athletes have already gotten cleared. They're all ready to go. So it's going to be a piece of cake. But if you have not done the final forms clearance, then what you need to do is get on the finalforms.com, and you all have that link. It's inside your emails that have been sent out constantly and so forth. So everybody has an account, but you need to do a little bit of work to get that going. And then for some of you, you might need to get your physical updated. That's the piece that's probably the most pressing for people to do. But again, we want as many people as possible to turn out. And sometimes people they're leery of turning out because they're worried about getting cut. Nobody likes getting cut, and I totally get that. We're not doing cuts this year, so we might be doing some unique practice schedules to get as many people in. Like, I know there's a ton of people that are out for volleyball, and we don't have a ton of space, but we'll make it work. So I'm super excited about that.
All right, that's awesome. And then I guess just another thing, what can you tell us about like COVID restrictions, such as like mask requirements and like restrictions on fans that can attend the games?
Yeah, so the state and the governor's office has made it mandatory for everyone to wear a face mask for practices, for competitions. That's going to look a little weird, right? When you think about a football game and they're wearing a face covering along with everything else. But that's the requirement. Our district also is basically, made it mandatory for any time we're on campus. So we're going to be doing that. One of the cool things with, and there are going to be some restrictions on fans, but a cool thing about the restriction on fans is then that means that we're going to be able to use our facility for our varsity football games because we're not going to be worried about having to have a large space.
Oh, that is sweet.
And yeah, so that's cool. I think a lot of our football players are really excited about that, to actually play on our Seaholm field, which I think it's going to be neat. There's a restriction for competitions that there can only be 200 people total. That includes your players and your coaches and the game workers and all that. So it's going to be very limited. So what we are going to do is we think the most important fans are our senior parents and the senior students. So we're going to, I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but that's what we're going to prioritize. So we're going to let the senior parents have tickets, and then we'll have a certain amount for senior students. And I was talking with Miss Cole about what she thought that could look like. And we were thinking, try and figure out a way that every senior who wants to gets to go to at least one game. And we figure out some way for a lottery to get them all out. And but it'll be cool. I know the experience is for athletes, but it's also for our senior fans and everyone else too. And I want to add on that we're going to live stream all of our varsity events. So if you don't get to watch in person, like you can't go on the road, there's no visiting fans allowed for road games. So we'll be live streaming all that, so you'll be able to watch, and we'll make that creative too.
That's really great. That's awesome. It sounds like you guys have a great plan in place for all of that. Is there anything else that you want to share with us before we go?
No, just I know there's been a lot of people really hoping to find a way to get connected, and that's what this is all about. Is we want the social connections, and so I know I've said this like 3 times now, but we want everyone to do something and take a risk if it isn't in your safe zone. Just say to heck with that, take a risk and go for turning out for something, so you can be around your buddies. And that's really kind of what this is all about. I know, you guys are athletes and can attest to the fact that being around your friends who have a shared interest is really rewarding. And that's really what we're trying to do for everybody.
For sure. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for, everything that you do for our ASB and for our Seaholm community. Super excited to get back to sports.
Yeah,
We all are.
This is the only time I'm in the front here, so I just want to pump up the 3 of you along with James, who's always in the background there. He's hiding back there.